Alright, this is Rudy, Elisiel, Kenny Trago, and Daniel Perez, and this is a REK'D production. Let's look at the region between the curve y equals radical x and the x-axis, from x equals 0 to x equals 3, and revolve it about the x-axis. The picture looks like this. If you slice the resulting solid perpendicular to the x-axis, each cross-section of the solid is a circle, or disk, hence the phrase disk method. The radii of each disk vary from one value of x to the next, but you can find each radius by putting it into the equation for y. Each radius is radical x. The area of each disk is therefore pi radical x squared, which equals pi x. You then plug it into the equation for the disk method, so it would be pi times the integral from 0 to 3 of x dx.
Okay, given the functions y equals x squared and y equals radical x, we're going to rotate it around the x-axis. So first what we have to do is we have to graph them. This is x squared, and this is radical x. Now we rotate it around the x-axis. This equals 1. So we have to use washer method, because if you rotate it, it makes a sort of washer shape. So the formula for washer is pi r squared minus pi little r squared. And to get the big R, is going to be the radius of the whole circle, which is radical x. And the little r is this little circle. So that is x squared. So now we plug it into the formula. Pi, and then this turns into pi times the integral from 0 to 1 of radical x squared minus x squared dx.
Let's say you're given y equals x squared, y equals 4, and x equals 0. And they're asking for you to revolve it around the y-axis. So you would use the shell method. And the formula for shell method is 2 pi r h. So to find your r and your h, you would just simply graph it, which would be x squared, this one, y equals 4. And then you just look at it. You revolve it around the y-axis. And your r would be this, some random x. And then so your h would be this minus this, which would be 4 minus x squared. And your r, like I said, would be some random x. So you just plug it into the formula, 2 pi from a to b of r times h, which is x times 4 minus x squared dx. And then you just integrate and you get your answer.
Mr. Franco, number 29. Are you serious? Come on, dog. Awesome. Okay, so 29a. Find the volume of the solid generated by revolving the region bounded by y equals radical x and the lines y equals 2 and x equals 0 about the x-axis. So first what we do is we graph the problem. X squared looks something like this, y equals 2, and x equals 0. So we have to find this region, rotate it about the x-axis. So we're going to have to do the washer method. So this is the formula. So your big R would be the radius of the whole thing, which is 2. And your little r would be the radius of the little circle, which is radical x. So then we plug that into the formula. Pi times 2 squared minus pi radical x squared. So then we do it. We have to find the limits. So to find the limits is we set the y's equal to each other. So x squared equals 2. Square both sides, cancel, and you get x equals 4. So from 0 to 4 of 2 squared, 4 minus, that canceled, x dx. So now integrate. So pi 4x minus x squared over 2, 0 to 4, and then we plug it in. 4 times 4 is 4 squared over 2 minus 0, because all of that will just cancel out. So you get pi times 16 minus 8, and you get pi times 8 equals 8 pi.
Alright, for 29b, we rotate about the y-axis. When we rotate about the y-axis, it looks like we use the shell method. So the formula for the shell method is 2 pi r h, with r being some random x and h being the height, which is 2 minus radical x. So it will be 2 pi times x and 2 minus radical x. and we get 2 pi times 2x minus x to the 3 over 2. We then plug it into the equation. It's 2 pi, the integral from 0 to 4 of 2x minus x to the 3 over 2 dx. We integrate it and we get x squared minus 2 times x to the 5 over 2 over 5 from 0 to 4 times 2 pi. We plug in 4 for x and we get 16 minus 2 times 4 to the 5 over 2 over 5, and then we plug in 0, you just get 0. So it'll be 16 minus 64 over 5. Can't forget the 2 pi. So it'll be 2 pi times 80 over 5 minus 64 over 5, and then we get 32 pi over 5 for the final answer. And that's how you do 29b.
For 29c, it asks for you to revolve it around the line equals y equals 2. So you graph it, and it'll look like this. Alright, so you see this part, you revolve it around y equals 2, you'll get this. And as you can see, you'll use the disk method, because there's no hole in the middle. So the formula for this method would be pi r squared. And your r would be this. So it would be this, which is 2 minus square root of x. 2 minus square root of x. So you just plug it into the formula. You take the integral from 0 to 4. 40 found the limits before. So you just plug it in, and you'll get 2 minus square root of x squared dx. Alright, so after that, you'll square it, and you'll get an integral from 0 to 4 of 4 minus 4 square root of x minus x plus, dx. Take the integral then, you'll get 4x minus 8x to the 3 over 2 power over 3 plus x squared over 2 from 0 to 4. And then after that, you just plug it in, you'll get 16 minus 8 4 3 over 2 over 3 plus 4 squared over 2. And after that, bring it over here for you guys. So after that, you'll get pi of 16 minus 64 over 3 plus 8. You get pi of 16 plus 24 minus 64 over 3. And you'll get, as a result of 8 over 3, which equals 8 pi over 3. And there's your answer.
So this is 29d for the equation y equals radical x, y equals 2 and x equals 0. And we have to revolve it around the line x equals 4. So what we have to do first is find r and h. R is 4 minus x, and h is 2 minus square root of x. So we plug this into the equation 2 pi r times h, which is shell method. So it would be 2 pi, go from 0 to 4, 4 minus x times 2 minus square root of x dx. So we simplify this by multiplying these two. So it gives us 8 minus 4 square root of x minus 2x plus x to 3 over 2 dx. So now we integrate it. It'll be 2 pi 8x minus 8x to 3 over 2 over 3 minus 2x squared over 2 plus 2x, so 5 over 2 over 5, 0 to 4. So now we plug them in, be 2 pi 8 times 4 minus 8 over 3 over 2 over 3 minus 4 squared 2 over 2 over 5. So you simplify this, it'd be 32 minus 64 over 3 minus 16 plus 64 over 5. All this would give you 2 pi times 112 over 15. This would give you 224 pi over 15, and that's your final answer. Oh, it's not gonna fall because you're not gonna throw balls at it.
Throw balls at it.
How much you guys? I'm gonna throw balls at it.
That's your balls right here, bitch.
Oh, let me have it.
Awesome! Whoa!
What the fuck? And we're gonna put that shit on.
Awesome! We're gonna go get some ice cream.